In the Krasnoyarsk territory of Russia, special-purpose police units, known by the Russian acronym OMON, raided a wedding ceremony in the village of Solensy, Yemelyanovsky district. The operation, aimed at identifying violations of immigration laws and preventing drug trafficking, took place in a banquet hall in the village of Solensy. To ensure control and security, significant forces were deployed for the operation. The joint raid was conducted by officers from the main directorate of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Russia for the Krasnoyarsk Krai, the regional FSB directorate, and the Yemelyanovsky intermunicipal department of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Special forces from the regional directorate of the Russian National Guard provided force support. During the investigation, police identified 620 people present. It was discovered that 210 of them were foreign citizens. Despite a thorough search, no prohibited substances or items were found on them, the MVD-24 Telegram channel reported. 26 individuals were brought to the police station for further investigation and clarification of the circumstances. A thorough investigation revealed that 8 of these individuals were in Russia illegally, without the proper documentation. Following the raid, police officers drew up 19 administrative violation reports. Most of these concerned immigration violations. Additionally, the operation collected evidence on 3 cases of fraudulent registration of foreigners. A preliminary investigation is currently underway to determine the procedural decision on this matter. In addition, 3 criminal cases have been opened regarding the fact of false registration of foreign citizens.
Не покидайте, со спокойной душой сели, покушайте, уважаемые друзья, все в порядке.
Добрый вечер, граждане и гости Российской Федерации. Внимательно меня послушайте. Работает полиция Главного управления ГИО МВД России по Красноярскому краю. Всем находящимся здесь предоставить документы для проверки. Прошу сохранять спокойствие. Обращаю ваше внимание, что в случае неповиновения или оказания сопротивления может быть привлечены к административной или уголовной ответственности. Спасибо за внимание.
Куда? Куда? Стоять. Куда не проверит? Слева, да?
Сейчас мы проверим, все ли в порядке. Дальше. Рукой комиссию предоставить.
Она не идет.
Есть запрещенный человек свет? В карманах нет.
Это будет провожать?
Будет, голову поднимите.
Popular Russian military blogger Yuri Podolyaka, usually loyal to the Russian Ministry of Defense, recently harshly described the situation near Dobropilya as alarming and catastrophic for Russia. Podolyaka bluntly states that the situation near Dobropilya is unfavorable for Russia and that Russian units have found themselves practically encircled. He notes that the Ukrainian armed forces have deployed more than half of their assault units there and are attempting to cut off the salient to force a break in the blockade and outflank Russia's positions from the north. In other words, a real large-scale tactical threat. Podolyaka directly uses the word catastrophe and warns, if this happens, the consequences will be felt for a very, very long time, meaning a snowball effect is possible throughout the autumn campaign. He notes serious losses and depleted personnel. There are few of us, there are no people. The flow of mercenaries is drying up, and bully assaults are leading to dramatic losses. Podolyaka emphasizes that the fighting is house to house and that losses are heavy on both sides. But the key is that Russia is increasingly short of resources and manpower. Viktor Trehubov, spokesman for the Dnipro Operational Strategic Group of Troops, when answering questions about the details of the counter-offensive operation in the Dobropilya direction, said that armed forces strikes are destroying Russian logistics near Dobropilya, causing the Russians to lose ground there. This was reported on television. They infiltrated in small groups through the first line of Ukrainian defense and then combined these small groups with a larger group, occupied positions and tried to break through. Then they tried to fortify what they had already captured and bring in reinforcements. At some point at this stage, they began to fail. Thanks to effective countermeasures, we began to strike them, which began to destroy their logistics, and they began to gradually lose their positions. This continues to this day, he said. Trehubov noted that the Russians stretched their troops too thin on the front line. They are also currently unable to provide sufficient supplies. According to the spokesman, the Russians tried to send reinforcements, but these actions were unsuccessful. They actually have to push through a bottleneck, which is not very convenient for them. This is where they failed. The passage they left for themselves turned out to be too narrow. And when they try to bring in some equipment or establish supplies, they are attacked from both sides, he said. Maxim Kalashnikov, a prominent ideologist of the Russian Z camp, made a resonant admission. He believes Russia will soon suffer a military and political defeat. In his address, he noted that the fate of the war will be decided within a few months, and the outcome is not in Moscow's favor. Kalashnikov is panicking and awaiting a new large-scale offensive by the Russian army in Ukraine. If our leadership decides to attempt a major offensive in the next month and it proves unsuccessful, then this will mean defeat in the war, Kalashnikov wrote. According to him, the situation will become especially critical if the Kremlin once again resorts to meat assaults. In this case, the consequences could be devastating both for the military and for Russia's internal stability. He stressed that economic problems are worsening the situation. We face the threat not only of an economic downturn, but also of a banking crisis, Kalashnikov noted. He also mentioned the fuel crisis and the collapse of the water supply in the captured areas of Donbass. The Z propagandist also expressed doubts about the possibility of attracting massive assistance from North Korea. Can we expect the DPRK to send 300,000 fighters? I beg to differ, he said. In his opinion, even if Pyongyang decides to send a limited contingent, it could only amount to 10,000 to 20,000 troops, which would not change the overall balance of power. Kalashnikov compared current developments in the Russian army to the situation in the spring and fall of 1917, when the Russian Empire was rapidly collapsing under the weight of military defeats and crisis. Everything will be decided within a few months. We are preparing for a survivability battle, he concluded. These words effectively confirm that even among the most devoted supporters of the war, panic is spreading, and the understanding is spreading that continued aggression against Ukraine will lead Russia to collapse. Recall in the winter of 1917, facing desertions, bread riots, and a population weary from the First World War, Tsar Nicholas II abdicated the Russian throne during the February Revolution. A provisional government replaced Russia's monarchist regime.